Africa is rich in many respects. Minerals is one of the richest continent as far as minerals. But most importantly, people.
Excellent.
There's what is called demographic dividend, which we've been talking about for quite a while, but it hasn't materialized yet. For it to materialize, we have to be intentional. Of course, we can't do it on our own, but all stakeholders in the value chain have to be intentional, because it's an anomaly that you get a continent that is so rich in human capital, is so rich in minerals, and yet is so poor. Abject poverty you've not seen. I mean, it's arguably the poorest continent.
How does purpose-driven leadership look like in a firm like S&G Grant Thornton?
The genesis of S&G Grant Thornton, I mean, as I say, you can trace it back to 1982. And there was a gap, a big gap, where black entrepreneurs particularly, and black professionals were battling to deal with issues of business risk, business planning, and etc. And was to plug that gap. But in plugging that gap, largely in townships. So the roots of S&G Grant Thornton have always been purpose-driven.
Excellent.
Now we're elevating that and are still grounded in that, so we don't lose that. So everything that we do, it's got a firm grounding, and we are about closing what I call the opportunity gap.
Hello, I am Dr. Manda Chiflaro, and on today's episode of the SuperLead Podcast series, we are joined in studio by Victor Sekese, who is the Chief Executive Officer of S&G Grant Thornton, a visionary leader committed to unlocking sustainable value and driving meaningful impact across our African continent. A strong advocate for purpose-driven leadership, Victor believes profitability and positive impact can and must coexist. And today we unpack his insights on leading with values, purpose, and integrity. Victor, welcome to SuperLead Podcast.
Thank you, Manda, and thank you for having me.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. I absolutely cannot wait to dive into the conversation on purpose, leading with purpose. But before we do that, I want to just kind of get to your story. And on this podcast, we have time.
Okay.
And we want to hear all about you, where you grew up, from as early as possible to where you are today.
Yeah, Manda, thank you so much. So I was born and bred in Pretoria.
Okay. So people can grow up in Pretoria?
Yes, of course.
It's not like many of us who come here to work.
Yes, actually, so initially I was in Salisbury.
All right.
My formative years was in Salisbury for about 6 years.
Okay.
And my folks moved to Mamelodi.
Okay.
Yeah, and I studied there, until matric.
Okay.
And then from there I went took a detour to University of Zululand.
That's a detour.
Yeah, because I eventually ended up at Wits, where I originally wanted to go. So at the University of Zululand, we couldn't finish the year in my first year.
Right.
So the university closed altogether.
No way.
And during that time, then one was stranded around, started applying for bursaries. I was fortunate enough to then get a bursary to be able to study at Wits, because when I matriculated, my parents couldn't afford the Wits of this world. And they said, no, we can only take you to University of Zululand. And why University of Zululand? Because our neighbor's son was already there.
I see.
So there was comfort that you go there,
Yes,
and Vincent will take care of you. Vincent Baleka, the current senior counsel.
I see.
So I was under his care for the 4 or 5 months that we were there.
Okay.
He was a senior, my brother.
Yeah.
So that's why I say it's a detour.
Okay,
so
I'm with you.
I ended up at the university.
Something is still bugging me. So growing up in Mamelodi, does that mean you support Sundowns? Because if you don't, this interview might end now.
Yeah, no, naturally, yes. Naturally, I would follow Sundowns, and for no other reasons, just because it's a hometown club.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, Rolani, we are allowed to continue with this interview. Kaboyelo here in the studio today.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I continue.
Yeah, so then I studied accountancy at university. It was quite an interesting, lively experience. Thoroughly enjoyed myself as a student.
Lovely.
At University of Witwatersrand, commonly known as WITS. And they started doing a lot of tutoring. And we started what was then an accounting clinic. Then because accountancy was challenging for a lot of students, but particularly black students. So we engaged with the then head of the department to say, look, we can offer support to the students over and above the formal tutorial program that the university had, where you have intense consultation. So we were the first students to man that clinic, accounting clinic.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, to give support.
I actually like even the name, accounting clinic.
Yeah. So, but also became a student member of ABASA. ABASA is the Association for the Advancement of Black Accountants.
Yes.
A organization that was started around 1985.
Sure.
And at that stage, there were very few qualified black accountants, particularly African accountants. So ABASA was set up to really address that anomaly, that you have black people being the majority of the population in South Africa, and they're underrepresented in the profession. So we needed then to engage on programs and engage with all stakeholders to open the path and make it easy for black people to qualify. And one was very active then in that regard.
Excellent.
Yeah. So with the student chapter.
Lovely.
So when I finish then studying, my sponsors, which was Tonga Tulets, they paid for my fees.
Yes.
So when I later read what happened with Tonga, I had a little bit of a poignant experience. So I was meant to go back and work for them. Because they needed to pay back my bursary. So at that stage, when you wanted to be a chartered accountant, you could only train with accounting firms. So currently you can train either in practice, so which is with accounting firms, or outside practice with organizations where you can get training. I think Sasol as well has a training program for accountants as well.
And I imagine still, even today, majority still have to train with the accounting firms.
Yeah, so when you look at the stats, trainees do choose accounting firms as a first preference. And again, because of the variety accounting firms offer. I'm a bit biased, of course, in that regard, because if you were to do it outside practice, then you are sort of restricted to that entity that you
and the role that you may have been given there.
Certainly.
I see.
Whereas the accounting firm offers you that variety. You see different clients at different industries, and that enriches your training, I believe.
And you do the training, and then I'm told immediately when you finish, your salary just jumps. Like, it's just like
certainly.
You're a different person completely.
I think that event of qualifying, it's quite a momentous occasion for a number of people.
Okay.
Yeah, because your life suddenly just
changes
turns
immediately.
around, yeah.
And then, is it true that the salary just you can't recognize your salary anymore?
Yeah,
there's just too many zeros.
Yeah, look at it this way, Manda. As a trainee, you basically still under trainee, and
I see.
Some of the older partners that were my principals I used to work with.
Yeah.
They used to tell me, part of the coaching, to say, Vic, regard yourself privileged, because we are actually paying you to teach you, and which is more like a stipend, if you can put it this way. And I think the rationale.
We're paying you to study.
Yeah, the rationale was to say, you need to be paying me as your principal, because I'm teaching you and you are under my tutelage.
But you're working overnight, you're working
of course,
projects, you are being billed.
Of course, at the margin, of course. Yeah, so as you can imagine, that discussion never concludes, because from a perspective of a trainee, you've got a different disposition, and from a perspective of a principal, you've got a different disposition. But look, the experience is immense. It's you can't even put rents and cents to it.
Excellent.
So it's worth that sacrifice.
Excellent.
And the expectation is that once you qualified, now you can operate as a qualified professional, and hence then there's a sort of a match in terms of your earnings from that point of view.
Excellent.
Yeah. So so then I went to a firm, a big firm, to do my training, and I asked Tongat to sort of suspend.
I see.
My me going there.
Yeah.
To say, no, let me go
finish the training,
3
and
years,
then
I'll come back as qualified. And then they gave me that grace.
Okay, good.
To
Excellent.
which I was thankful.
Very good.
But however, when I finished, because then I think then I experienced as a trainee, exposed to work environment, and at that stage it was quite difficult during the days of apartheid.
Sure.
Opportunities, whilst you are in such a big firm and etc.
Sure.
But you could see the quality of trading is nowhere at par to your white counterparts and all that. And for no reason, just because the color of your skin is different. And, one had possibly an unfair expectation to say, because you're from Wits, so, and you've done work there, so people know you and etc.
Yes.
But and at that stage it was systemic. It wasn't a challenge with the firm.
Sure.
But all other firm black trainees used to have similar experience. In terms of lack of opportunities or quality opportunities to really learn and but one learned nevertheless. So for some time, ordinarily, so what you do, we work on a schedule.
Sure.
So you get scheduled to say you go to that assignment, to help. So generally the experience that one had, the pre-scheduling was limited.
Okay.
But ordinarily you need to be scheduled for the whole year. So you know that I do assignment A. When I finish assignment,
I'm
I
going
go to
the
A
other
and
one.
B. So one would have lots of blanks in the scheduling right from first year. And now, and we used to, you spoke about sundowns, so we used to use the analogy of soccer as black trainees there, that we're sitting on the bench. So you'll bench in the office, figure out, do
work on the proposal,
bits and pieces. Then when teams are challenged from a capacity point of view, then you are an add-on. You literally add on to push the deadline and meet the deadline. So that was one's life. 5
Sure.
for the 3 years.
Sure.
It's an add-on
Sure.
primarily. But then I was seconded to a practitioner in the township for about 6 months.
Okay.
I'm trying,
So what does that mean? So there's a
Yeah.
big firm,
Yeah.
and then there's a small firm that's a...
Yeah, so this small firm had an agreement
Yeah.
with the big firm.
Yeah.
And it was more a capacity sharing agreement.
I am with you.
To say, as a small practitioner, it was a sole practitioner.
Yeah.
I do get into capacity challenges.
Yes,
So
can
can I
I-
come to you and
Excellent.
tap
Okay.
onto your capacity?
I'm with you.
To do that. So
Yeah. So you get seconded to a firm in the township,
Yeah.
to a...
yeah, for about 6 months or so. I think there were 2 of us.
Yeah.
A former schoolmate and a former varsity mate.
Okay.
And now my senior, he was my senior.
Yeah.
We were both then seconded to do assignments. Most of the assignments were USAID
Okay.
funded
I see.
assignments.
I see.
So we're doing USAID
Yeah.
audits.
Yeah.
And of course, helping township entrepreneurs
Excellent.
with their books and etc. At that stage, I didn't realize. I dissented that experience to say,
Sure.
look, my
Oh,
colleagues are
yes.
doing
You know, they're
big
doing
listed
big
entities,
banks
yeah,
and everything
all
else,
that,
and then
you know.
you're out here
Yeah,
auditing
you see,
the small
yeah. So
companies.
I didn't realize at that point that there was a seed
Oh,
that
wow.
that was planted,
wow.
and which seed eventually were to germinate later in my life. So finishing then we used to call them articles, which is training.
Yeah.
Then,
Have you changed? Has that changed?
yeah, well, officially it's changed,
Okay.
but we still refer as articles.
Okay,
Yeah. It's
I've
trainee
been schooled.
accountants,
I've been upskilled today.
Yeah, no, certainly. So I had a conversation with my bosses, or those people that were meant to be my bosses at Tonga Tulens.
Yes.
And I realized that the environment is not too different to the environment that I'm coming from.
Sure.
And
From a inclusivity
yes,
perspective.
inclusivity and giving people opportunities.
Sure.
I mean, it took 2-3 meetings to realize that.
Sure.
No, to realize that you are not assumed competent
Sure.
by virtue of you being qualified and experienced.
Sure.
But you are assumed incompetent, and it's for you to come and prove that you are competent.
Sure.
But that's where then the dilemma comes.
Sure.
Because for you to prove that you are competent, you need to be given decent opportunities.
Yes.
But you're not given decent
Decent
opportunities because you are assumed to be incompetent. So it's an
It's-
it's a never
yeah,
ending. Yeah. So then I made a decision that I'm not going to serve my commitment with these people. And I didn't know what I was going to do. Then I looked for other opportunities that were there. And an opportunity presented itself in the motor manufacturing industry.
Good.
In the finance department. So, then I went there, became a management accountant.
Good.
I think initially it was exciting. It's a new environment, new project, and etc. But after a while, that fulfillment was not there. Exactly. I remember I was allocated a mentor as well from the HR division, just to checking out how things are. And I remember a conversation I had with him vividly to say, no, I'm not having.
This is not working.
It's not working. I'm not fulfilled in terms of what I'm doing. At that time, we had a program to help employee kids or children with life skills,
Right.
and skills to help them succeed at school.
Sure.
And I was telling my mentor that that's where I find my fulfillment.
Oh, wow.
Go to camps over weekends and work
Yes,
with
yes,
the kids, and
yes, yes,
etc.
yes. Yeah.
Then I see that's where my fulfillment is coming
Sure.
from.
Not in.
In balancing the books. But that one, remember, it has its roots from Verts in the accounting
Oh, I
clinic.
see.
So when I finished at Verts, and of course I had to leave the accounting clinic behind.
Yes.
I had the opportunity of tutoring UNISA students. At that stage, UNISA was primarily, correspondence, and you would have people that are working. So we used to have classes. We worked through an NGO to support with the students that were studying. Did that for about, whilst I was an article clerk, did that for about 2 years.
So all of this is after hours?
Yes.
Because I'm told during that training, you still work long hours.
You do.
And then you still have capacity.
Yeah, you do. So I was fortunate enough because when I started working, my study demands were limited because I'd finished studying and I went to write professional exams.
Okay.
Yeah. So the challenge is a problem if you're still studying
Okay,
and you still have deadlines and etc. So I could fit that within the deadlines.
I see.
That we had, and it worked perfectly. And again, that's where I found my fulfillment. And in a way, it was an escape for me.
Sure.
Where at work I wasn't that happy, but on Saturdays, weekends, working with the students were very motivating.
Lovely.
Then after that, Professor Ntsonani, his soul rest in peace, was a senior lecturer at Verts. Not at Verts, at Vista University.
Yes, there was Vista University.
Yeah, which was the Soweto campus, is now part of UJ. And he was going on sabbatical. So I knew him from our Basa escapades. Became active in Abasa. I never stopped being active at Abasa since my student days. So even as a trainee accountant, then I would manage these issues, culture issues. And like I said, they were systemic. I mean, you sit in a room. And you're from different firms. You think you work for the same firm. The experiences were exactly the same. They were different. So Prof says, listen, I'm going on a year sabbatical. You're an academic, you know that privilege. So I need somebody to come and take my class.
Yes.
Then I spoke to my employer. They allowed me to go, and I think I stayed there for 2 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah, lecturing, accounting too, and auditing.
Excellent.
Yeah. Then I left that part-time lecturing when I went to the manufacturing company, the car manufacturing company. Because of logistics and all that. But then, in a way, I continued that with young students at that stage.
So this noble calling of lecturing has always been with you.
Deep down. Okay. Yeah. So I fight with my team now when we've got internal programs. When they don't involve me.
I want to teach
someone
something.
This is what I want doing, and etc. But nevertheless, so where am I now? I'm all over the show. So I'm a management accountant. I'm not fulfilled.
And you're getting fulfillment from supporting the employees.
Then I started assisting. Started assisting one entrepreneur, with books, a little bit. Oh, Vic, you're an accountant, and come and help
me.
Then, and that was over weekends now as well, in the evenings. Then referral, then there's another one. This thing is becoming. Then it came to a point to say, now I need to decide. Because one has A, limited energy, B, limited time. And now I need to choose. I can't do both. Then that's where I had a conversation with my boss. But again, that was an additional fulfillment I got, seeing an entrepreneur battling to get the loan. And then taking the hand of the entrepreneur, helping prepare books, help negotiate for funding and supporting that. So we started, myself and two other colleagues, we started what was then called Sekes & Associate. With an office out there in Blood Street in Pretoria,
Good.
next to the station, the Pretoria station.
Yes.
And starting this accounting firm. Now, as one was setting up and left now formal employment, I met then Sangwe Nsaluba. Well, not I met. I worked with Sangwe Nsaluba in Nabasa. He was my chairman in the education subcommittee. So I worked with him on various projects, fundraising. So I got to know Sangwe Nsaluba very well.
Good.
And as we exchanging notes, then I realized, because he also used to run an accounting firm called Nsaluba and Company.
Yes.
And he was growing as well. He needed more hands.
Yes.
And then I'm here trying to set up.
Yeah.
I believe in not reinventing the wheel.
Good.
That's my philosophy.
Sure.
I believe in. So, but why do I reinvent the wheel?
Yeah.
So then I collapsed my small practice into Nsaluba Inc.
I see.
In Johannesburg. Closed that. Then I was a partner with Sango and a few other colleagues. And that's then the foundation of what is now Sizwe Nsaluba Koboto Grand Fountain, affectionately known as SNG Grand Fountain.
I see.
So that was in 1994.
Right. And I think,
this is where I am.
I think Klami was not born by then.
Yeah.
So you were in the founding, essentially.
Yeah, well, I can't claim that, because when you look at our roots actually go back in 1982.
Oh, you've just lost like everyone.
so I joined a firm that was already
in motion.
existence. In motion, and it was more just enhancing what was started by Genius Leketa then in 1982. Laid a very solid, good foundation upon which SNG Grand Fountain is now standing.
I am with you. Right. So I love that story and this path. One of my, Rulani was saying that she knows there's another path that's not accounting about you.
Yeah.
Let me hear.
Well, there's many parts.
Yeah.
I'm a dad.
Yeah, good.
I'm a granddad. That's you are part of it. It's 3 years now.
Congratulations!
Being a granddad.
Congratulations.
So, which parts then?
The other one on Sundays.
Oh, yeah. Look, on Sundays, it's another philosophical discussion, very long, because who you are on Sunday shouldn't be different to who you are on a Monday.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. So who I am on a Monday to Monday is consistent.
Excellent.
Yeah. But nevertheless, and again, my background, and I'm very thankful that we were raised the way we were raised.
Sure.
I was raised in a Christian home, and church, Sunday school was non-negotiable. So, and that was my grounding. So my grounding was around Christian principles. And of course, when you grow, then you rebel.
Yeah.
So you're teen, you sort of rebel. You rebel systems, schooling systems, religious systems, and etc. But later down in life, when life then is challenging you, then you go back to the
roots.
Foundations to say, look, what is the meaning of life?
Sure.
Why am I here? And etc. So then one seriously then regained and reconnected with spirituality. Really post university. University one was like superficial. Student, Christian Student Society and all that. But also grounded on Christian principles that you need to make a difference with the people around. And when you come in, there should be a difference in terms of giving them hope for the future. So I fellowship at the township-based ministry. And that was deliberate, because maybe let me reflect. So So I told you that I grew up in Mamelodi
Yeah.
until high school.
Yeah.
So then I went to university, then I was in the Christian Student Society.
Yeah.
Then after university, now I'm working. Yeah, as you said, it was deadlines work and my tutoring, Sachet, and because we used to have classes on Sundays and etc. So church took a backseat a little bit, took a backseat for a long time. Then got married. Then, of course, then we tried, various churches in the suburbs because we are now in the suburbs. No, it didn't. Couldn't
connect.
Couldn't relate. Couldn't connect.
Yeah.
So literally stayed at home, and we were introduced then years later to a township-based ministry, but it spoke to us because it was a purpose-driven ministry to change the lives of people. And in a way, we saw ourselves then as role models to young people who don't see within their surroundings, any better issues. Then started being active then in workshopping in the men's ministry and etc. And in that regard, then I was ordained a pastor later on. Yeah.
Good.
So
we have a pastor in studio.
Yeah, but my focus is largely administrative.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
But then more on empowerment programs.
Excellent.
Empowering the youth.
Lovely.
Empowering
Lovely.
men. And
Lovely.
That's my ministry.
Excellent.
Yeah.
How does purpose-driven leadership look like in a firm like S&G Grant Thornton?
Yeah. So I think the genesis of S&G Grant Thornton, I mean, as I say, you can trace it back to 1982. And there was a gap, a big gap, where black entrepreneurs particularly and black professionals were battling to deal with issues of business risk, business planning, and etc. And was to plug that gap. But in plugging that gap, because then they had social impact largely in townships. So the roots of S&G Grant Thornton have always been purpose-driven.
Excellent.
Now we're elevating that and are still grounded in that, so we don't lose that. So everything that we do, it's got a firm grounding, and we are about closing what I call the opportunity gap.
Sure.
And our outlook is continental. We look at Africa.
Excellent.
And we see ourselves playing a role in Africa in closing that opportunity gap. What do I mean by opportunity gap?
Yeah.
Africa is rich in many respects. Minerals is one of the richest continent as far as minerals. But most importantly, people.
Excellent.
There's what is called demographic dividend, which we've been talking about for quite a while, but it hasn't materialized yet. And it, for it to materialize, we have to be intentional. Of course, we can't do it on our own, but all stakeholders in the value chain have to be intentional, because it's an anomaly that you get a continent that is so rich in human capital, is so rich in minerals, and yet is so poor. Abject poverty you've not seen. I mean, it's arguably the poorest continent in that. Now, it will need decisive, purposeful action to close that gap. Excellent. So that the potential of Africa gets realized.
Excellent.
And where I think in 2050 Africa will have 2.5 billion. I think will be the second most populous continent. I think after India. And yet at that time the rest of the world would be having declining demographic, old people and etc. There is an opportunity now. Sure. So we are seeing ourselves as one firm that takes a lead in turning that potential into shared progress,
Lovely.
leaving no one behind.
Excellent.
So all people, all our communities should really benefit from that. That's how we look at purpose-driven approach.
Excellent. So the firm started largely accounting.
Yeah.
Just sort of for the how has it expanded the offerings now?
Yeah. So, as I say, in the 80s, our key clients were entrepreneurs, professionals, but the civil society, the NGOs. You remember during the struggle, you had NGOs for basically every civil issue, education, housing, political education, and etc. So that was our key client base and donor organization. I spoke about USAID.
Yes.
Yeah, USAID, Canadian agencies, European Union, and etc. That was our main business.
I see.
Come 1994, democracy.
Yeah.
We were happy. We were involved with IEC. We together with other colleagues in the profession, we ran the back office of IEC.
Oh, wow.
And we were happy that we delivered
Okay.
democracy.
Yeah.
Now we've got democracy.
Yeah.
Guess what? Our client base, the funders, most of the funders said, okay, we've achieved now our objectives. What we fought for
That.
has arrived. So we're channeling our funds to other jurisdictions that needs funds, or now we've got a legitimate government will channel some of the funds that you change straight to government.
Right.
So I literally remember now liquidating my clients. I had to go close the doors of my clients, the NGOs, doing liquidation accounts, handing over the keys to the landlord. And that's it. We don't have a client. So we don't have a client base. Yes, of course, there's another client base, but our business shrank post 94.
No way.
Now the irony is that it's a new dawn, new opportunities.
Yes.
So firms like us that were previously denied opportunities should thrive.
Yes.
We're looking at each other. Where are we going to get money to pay rent? So now, then we decided that now with the new narrative now, areas where we have previously not been engaged with, for whatever reason, we went and knocked hard.
Okay.
The Office of the Auditor General,
Yes.
the state-owned companies, knocked hard. As those entities are being transformed, you get new executives coming in, black executives, you knock hard.
Yeah.
And they'll give you an assignment, and you can see a small assignment there and there just to keep you quiet. And you say, oh, at least I've got something.
Yes.
It will contribute to my rent and etc. And our main breakthrough was around 1996. Because then we started part of Abasa. There was a section or that looked after the interest of practicing black accountants.
Okay.
We used to call it Abasa's Practitioners Forum.
Okay.
So we realized that individually, as we're trying to get assignments, it was not taking us anywhere.
Okay.
So then we form a constituency. Politicians like constituency. And then through the constituency, then we started campaigning, lobbying for opportunities, because that's all what we needed. The doors were closed all along for no reason, but because of the system at that stage. And our breakthrough, when I say the Abasa Practitioners Forum breakthrough came around 1996 when the then late Minister Stella Strauss said, listen, I will involve you with the audit of Transnet.
Right.
One of the most significant audit assignments in the country.
Sure.
Or in the continent or in the world for that matter. But we needed to be creative in terms of how we're going to get involved in that, because none of the Abasa Practitioners Forum members could do the assignment on their own.
Okay.
We were just too small.
Sure.
But we were creative at that stage, and we at that stage, I think even now, you could be a partner in more than one firm.
Okay.
So we translated APF from a voluntary organization
Yeah.
into an accounting firm. So we formed APF Inc.
I see.
Around 1996.
I see.
And basically all the partners of the member firms of APA
Yes.
became partners of APF. Yes, we still maintain
Your
partnership.
own,
in
yes,
that.
yes, yes. Yeah.
And Samuel Saluba, we appointed him as the CEO of APF.
I see.
Now, APF is this unified
Yeah.
firm pooling resources from everybody to be able to engage as joint auditor to Transnet.
Wow.
And that was a breakthrough. And that changed our life fundamentally.
Sure.
From being a practitioner focusing on NGOs,
Yes, yes.
civil society,
Yes.
SMMEs, to now being an auditor, doing an audit of this sophisticated firm with complex structures, complex IT systems, tax issues. Then we started investing. So what that did, it gave us then the resources to invest back into our
the
capacity.
into the firms, yeah.
It gave us a platform, and the three of the member firms came together. Nkonki and Konki, a Sizwe and Company, which was run by Sizwe Ngasana, and Saluba Inc. came together to form what was then Nkonki Sizwe and Saluba.
I see.
And our consulting arm, Ebony Financial Services, was there.
Wow.
Then we started the first black-owned national firm with offices across the country.
Stunning.
And opened an office in Cape Town.
Stunning.
Then that gave us a base to recruit now the necessary skills.
Yes.
We went out, recruited specialists in computer auditing,
Yes.
tax specialists,
Sure.
all sorts of specialists you can think of,
Sure.
accounting technical specialists, and formed a basis for us to go and look for other opportunities.
Sure.
And we're soon appointed auditors to other large state-owned entities. We were given an opportunity early enough by MTN to be joint
very
auditor
good.
of MTN.
Very good.
That's in the private sector. But
Yes.
the private sector work was not to the level that we wanted. Soon after that became auditors to Stanlip, etc. And that's how then we grew and became medium-sized following the formation of Nkonki Sizwe and Saluba. The other member firms within APF organized themselves. There were two other formations of black-owned national firms. KMT, which eventually went into KPMG, and Goboto Incorporated.
I see.
And then you had about 2 or 3 mid-sized black firms in the market.
Yeah.
And for a while, we were succeeding, building, consolidating. Ironically, then we started to lose ground over time. And I'm saying it's ironical because of BEE.
Yes.
We started losing traction.
Because of BEE.
Yeah, and we are black firms, but BEE makes us lose traction because of the developments in the BEE framework.
Right.
That comes into this. So the established firms were able, within the framework, to say we are level 1 BEE.
Okay.
And then the narrative that started going to say, no, we are a black firm. And the narrative, these are established firms, they say we are black firms. So, sorry, you? Yeah, we are a black firm. And you could see technically, yes, they are a black firm.
Yes.
Because, I mean,
you
are an engineer.
Yes.
So you've got engineering within the framework. So then we lose traction. So what used to happen in the early days, used to be pairing, so especially for big assignments. So you'd get a big assignment, consulting or audit, and the practice was to pair an established firm with a black firm.
Sure.
So that pairing. Then we started the pairing disappearing all of a sudden. I mean, you would walk around and you seeing the revenue lines going down. And you walk around, you see your counterparts from established firms. Vic, we got this assignment. Oh, you got this assignment. So who are you with? No. We are on our own. We are on our own.
We level 1.
Yes, we level 1. Then you go and meet another counterpart. Yeah, Vic, man. Because we boast about big assignments.
Of course.
Oh, so who are you with?
Yes.
No, we are on our own. Hey, man. Then you go to clients. Can't they?
What's going on?
What's going? Vic, aren't they level 1? I said, yes, they are level 1. So I mean,
They're
yeah,
back.
yeah. Hey, man, thought, how can they easily accept this narrative? So then we were faced then with an option, because then we've got Season Taluba here, then you've got Goboto here, experiencing the same issues, decline in revenue. And our typical client base was giving work to the established legacy firms. And so the option was, okay, collapse, join the legacy firms. Of course, the CEOs would be happy because we'd have dinners and coffee shops to show a business case to say, why must we collapse? You know, let's collapse, man. Forget this thing. Yeah, the dinner was nice, the coffee was nice, but ain't going to happen. So 2011, then we came together now as firms to say, no, going to established firms is not an option. Let's pool the resources together. In 2011, then that's when we formed Sizwe Ntsaluba Goboto, affectionately known as SNG.
I see.
Now there we could tick the capacity box, because the narrative was that, no, we've given it to other guys because you don't have capacity.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They are level 1
And
they've
the
got capacity.
Yeah, so let's not even have any discussions. Then we went back to the stakeholders. You remember that discussion we had that we don't have capacity? Now
We
have
now do.
capacity.
Yes.
And as it were, the market responded positively. We were surprised ourselves because we thought we're building a SNG for ourselves.
Yes.
But as we roll it out, as we introduced it out there, we realized that this thing is much bigger than ourselves. And literally all the stakeholders from all walks of life were asking, where have you been? Why haven't you done this before?
Wow.
Then we realized we carried the aspirations, the hopes, the dreams of the nation with us. And we panicked. But fortunately, then the market responded by giving us meaningful assignments.
Excellent.
And we sort of regained, the lost opportunities in there. But never stopped in investing, never stopped in reinvesting, continue to do that. But then we realized that our natural market, which is public sector, also had a limited lifespan.
Okay.
So we needed to pivot quickly
to the
private sector. And then what we realized that doing it as we were then was not going to work, or was going to take time. At that stage, we had already well advanced in setting up operations in Africa. Very difficult. We had Sizwe Ntsaluba Zambia, Sizwe Ntsaluba Cameroon, etc. But it was a tough toll. And then we looked for opportunities to say, can we scale? And how do we respond to our clients' global challenges? And even the discussions with our clients, we could see them becoming more global. Initially, in the earlier years, the discussions were around challenges in the local market. And they would change totally. Not talk about local market, but talk about markets elsewhere, particularly in the continent or outside. Then we realized that we are not able to respond adequately to this. So we needed to improve our global capability, improve our global reach. And the quickest way to do that is to look for a network, an existing network, not part of the big network, but a network that is closely aligned to our values and closely aligned to our culture. And that's when we identified Grant Thornton.
I see.
And linked up with Grant Thornton in 2018.
I see.
And we formed Sizwe Ntsaluba Gogoto Grant Thornton,
beautiful.
affectionately known as SNG Grant Thornton.
Lovely.
Rooted in Africa.
Excellent.
Still an African firm,
Yeah.
but with that global reach,
Sure.
global capability,
Excellent.
access to global clients, global tools, and all that.
Oh,
That's where we are.
Wow, beautiful. I love the journeys and the stories, and how you just have this beautiful way of storytelling. It's just it's just unparalleled.
Yeah.
Because of time, maybe we land on these two questions. One is, if you were to give our listeners a challenge today to say, listening to the story and the journey, what's the one thing you want to challenge us to do differently as leaders? And maybe the second one is a book recommendation.
Yeah, well, let me start with the second one.
Okay,
Yeah, the book that really challenged me, and when I read that book, I'd wished that I'd read it when my kids were still small.
Okay.
Is the mindset. I think it's entitled Mindset. Yeah,
Right.
It talks about the mindset. I think it shook my outlook in terms of how one views progression and progress, and we tend to be tough on people, either our kids, to demand high performance.
Yes.
Nothing less than high performance is that, and put pressure in.
Yes.
And in the workplace as well, similarly.
Sure.
But the mindset, the growth mindset is progressive in its nature, celebrating small wins in terms of that, getting to ultimately to that, and changing to say I can't to I can.
Yes.
That alone is a session on its own. So that's what I would recommend. I keep on going back to it, and I give people that book where I can.
Excellent.
I gifted my
This
daughter when he
when you had a grandchild.
Yes, yeah.
So moving from this fixed mindset to growth mindset.
Yes.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Just one challenge, one key message.
So key message, I think all of us should be unsettled about the status quo.
Sure.
And unsettled and do in our own spheres something and contribute to change the status quo. What am I saying? The status quo is broad, it's big. Of course, we can see what's happening in the commissions and etc. But be intentional around reclaiming our ethical disposition, which was pre-democracy, was very strong in terms of fighting for a good cause. So somehow we've lost that, that plot. But also be unsettled about this opportunity gap.
Good.
To say, in my sphere and in my space, how do I contribute to closing this opportunity gap? Where we are a rich continent and yet we are a poor continent. And close that gap to be that. Yeah.
Oh, Victor, thank you so much. This was incredibly insightful. I am inspired.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
You're welcome, Manda.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was quite
Ladies and gentlemen, Victor in studio, right here with us.
Yes, no,
thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.